Hey there, happy Friday. Before I run off and go play for the rest of the weekend, I wanted to jump on and talk a little bit about cosmetics. I wasn't really planning to cover cosmetics in this module because we're really focusing on personal care instead of beauty products, but I have had a few questions, so I thought I would just try to, just address a few things and talk about it a little bit. And then if you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask those anytime. But what I want to do is just talk a little bit about some of the things to look out for with cosmetics. So one of the biggest things, the biggest concerns with color cosmetics is heavy metal contamination. And that's because when they mine the minerals that they use for all the colors, all the great colors that are used for eyeshadows and blush and lipstick, those those ingredients, those minerals, often come along with heavy metals attached to them. So you've probably heard of lead in lipstick. There's also been reports about cadmium, which is another heavy metal found in cosmetics. They were some kids, kind of young girl focused cosmetics. There's also been nickel. Definitely a number of heavy metals that have been found in cosmetics. Also asbestos, which isn't a heavy metal, but it's another type of mineral, which unfortunately comes along for the ride with some of these other minerals that are used in cosmetics. So there was a recent story about asbestos found in some cosmetics at, like, I think it was Claire's or something. So anyway, that's kind of one of the biggest issues with cosmetics, and unfortunately it's kind of a tricky one. So I was talking to my friend Lindsay, who works for BeautyCon, and I know her because I used to work with her at a nonprofit, and where we were lobbying for better chemical laws, better laws to protect everyone from the chemicals that go into the products we use. And she is just a wealth of information. And now she works for BeautyCon. So she was telling me that at BeautyCon, what they do is they not only do they, have really good suppliers, but they know that contamination of these cosmetic ingredients is kind of on a batch by batch basis. So they actually test every single batch of ingredients that they get before they're put into their cosmetics. And that's not something that very many companies do, I don't think, at this point. And I'm not telling you this just to plug BeautyCon, because that's the point of this group, isn't just to promote one single brand or anything. But I will say that they are kind of on the leading edge of doing that, because it's a big deal that every batch could have heavy metals in it, and if you're not testing, you don't know. And so I just wanted to make that point. However, on the other hand, there are plenty of good brands out there for cosmetics that use clean ingredients and are doing a much better job than most conventional cosmetic companies. So, I mean, I think you can, just go ahead and feel good about, using a lot of those brands. And what I'll do is I think I'll just create a separate post in the group here with some of the brands that I recommend for color cosmetics. And but just keep in mind and kind of keep your ears open for this idea of companies that are going beyond and testing for heavy metals and other contaminants in every batch of ingredients that they use. So that's one of the big things. And then another question that I got that I just wanted to cover briefly was about mica. And I did post an article in my other Facebook page recently. There's been some talk about mica, which is the mineral used in cosmetics, and it's most known because it kind of gives that shimmer to cosmetics, but I guess it's also used kind of as a base for a lot of cosmetics. And this mica ingredient is very commonly mined in India, and unfortunately they've been using child labor. And so there's been kind of an expose about that. It's like, these poor kids are, being endangered and having to go mine for this mica that is in such great demand because we all want it in our cosmetics. So that's a really super sad situation. But unfortunately the demand for mica just isn't going to go away. So Um, I did talk to my friend Lindsay again about that, and she said that at BeautyCounter they are very, committed to. They work with suppliers that they know are not using child labor. So the main point is that you can ask questions of the brands that you want to buy from and see what they say about it. So for instance, just this week I emailed one of my favorite brands. Their name is RMS Beauty, and they make really nice clean ingredient cosmetics that I like. And so I asked them, I saw that they used Mica, and I said, hey, what's the deal with the Mica? And they said, we are very committed to ethical suppliers, and so we vet everything, and so they assured me that they don't use any of the child labor, the Mica from companies that use child labor. So bottom line is sometimes you just have to keep asking questions of the people that you want to buy from, and to make sure that they're meeting the needs, for ethical reasons as well as safety. Oh, and by the way, Mica it's not a question of being a toxic ingredient. It's perfectly safe to use, so you don't have to worry about that side of it, which is good. But anyway, so that was really the two main points I wanted to cover. And then the other thing is just, if you're looking to buy safer makeup and you're not really sure, again, I'll give you some brands to choose from. But one big recommendation is try not to buy from like the dollar stores and the really cheap places, because they tend to, you don't know where they're getting these things from. And I just don't think that the cosmetics are being vetted very well. And so they would be more likely to use non-clean ingredients and, have issues with sourcing and all of that stuff. So steer clear of the really cheap makeup for yourself and your kids. And try to just find the safer brands that you trust and stick with those. So that's my recommendation. And again, just ask me any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer them. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.